Hi guys and gals, and welcome to Farming Simulator 19. I'm Buddy 1927 and we are on the map of Pleasant Valley. Collaboration by Chaz64. And today we are going to set up the animal pens, which we're going to do over here, the area that we left off at. I did add the lights and I did some more decorations. As you can see, I added some dirt back here. Let's speed him up a little bit. That's bad. I did a little decoration here. Kind of make it look like it was cut out and reinforced. But we are going to go over here. Yeah, we'll stop right here. And we'll go ahead. I downloaded my animal pens that I want to use. The first one I want to place is a cattle. Okay, this configuration holds 1,500 cattle or cows or whatever you want to call it. So we are going to place it. Okay. I'm going to place it. I want to make sure I get everything. There we go. That's what I want to check. Yeah, right there. And we want to go ahead and place it right there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see chat. Oh, that's bigger than I thought it was. Might have to get another area. Let's do sheep next and see how big that is. We'll put some sheep right here. Make sure we got plenty of room. Yep, we're out of room. Okay. Oh, we got the sheep and the cattle. I still gotta get the pigs and some other stuff down here. So I tell you what we're going to do. Oh yeah, there's no fences on this either. Cows stay right here. Get the milk right here. Get the slurry. No, you get the milk here. Cows go here. And I gotta find the fence. And Chaz, if you look and put down in the comments where you got those fences. I'd like to know. I would appreciate it, sir. Because I like those fences, I just can't find them. Okay, I guess that's the wool. Water and feed. Is this where you put the cows? Yes, cows, sheep. Okay, we got the sheep farm done. Okay, let me go get... It's quicker than tabbing, trust me, guys. See, even faster. Hey, I can run on water. This is the fence I want, which I'm going to be chopping down. Okay. We need to get some trees chopped down real quick. So let's go ahead and get going here. And see what's going on. I hope I'm broadcasting. According to my thing, I am streaming. I did not realize how big that cow pasture was. But I want that big cow pasture. It's a nice looking cow. It's a cow pasture. I like it. It holds a lot of cows. And we get some things we got to set up and take care of. But we got to clear. I'm going to take field 12 out. so we can add our pigs and horses, and I think I might be able to add a goat or two. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if it's going to work on this map. I'm going to try some of the PV mods I got. We'll turn on tree zapper. Go this way. We'll go clockwise. Stay in the field. So we don't get our thing caught up. But we get to clear the area, which involves clearing the trees and some other stuff. You said working on the farm is boring. Got a lot of work to do. I think I'm missing something here, but oh, it's 5 o'clock. Oh well. It's gonna get a little dark. I think I'm on day 2, and most of the time, except for the little detail work, I've been setting up autoplay. So I've been doing a lot of that. That takes a lot of time. This is a big map, so it takes a lot of time to get that all set up. We got things going. And chopping down the trees, getting a lot of wood chips, which is good. It's going to help us out later on. There we go. This one. I need to get rid of a couple of these trees any which way. I still gotta get rid of a lot of trees, unfortunately. Basically, I gotta get rid of all the trees around the field so I can get equipment through, or at least on one side. I'm not sure how I'm going to do all that yet. I'm going to see once we get things going what I need to cut down and what I don't need to cut down. We got a lot of trees cut down. Oops. I need to swing out. Ah, come on. Come on, buddy. You know how to drive. You've driven tractors before. Both in real life and when I was growing up. When I was 12, I used to work on a dairy farm. From 12 until I was 16, then I started working part-time at FW Ward as a stock boy, and ended up going up the ladder. I made it all the way up to store manager, and that's not bad for somebody who never went to college for. I didn't have a business degree. All I had was my paramedic degree and my fire degree, which does not count. But because I worked my way up and I proved myself, they hired me as an assistant manager, and then I had to go through their program, which is a 2-year program, which I finished in a year and a half, and got the highest grade in the district I was in, higher than some people who had master's degrees. in business. And it's mainly because I grew up, or I started working. I worked my way up. I didn't go to college and didn't work and have Mama pay all the bills. Mama and Daddy pay all the bills. I paid all my bills. I worked for a living. I worked in retail. And then I got out of retail. Worked part-time as a paramedic, full-time in retail. Then one day I was working for another company, a drugstore here in North Carolina. I was a part-time paramedic and a full-time volunteer firefighter. And I had 2 heart attacks one when I was 34 and one when I was 36. Both due to stress, both due to long hours. I was averaging about 100 hours a week. I mean, I was working a lot of hours. And I had 2 stress heart attacks. I got out of there after the second heart attack. I had a buddy who was running a convalescent ambulance company, and he needed paramedics. So I went to work for them. The county was 100% volunteer, but then it started slowly turning into paid. So I went part-time with the convalescent and full-time with Wayne County. Did that for 10 years. And went back to the private sector and ran a 911 system for a ambulance transport company that needed a director of 911. So I went ahead and became the director, and they only had one county that they were setting up, and it was an hour and a half away from my house. So I was driving I was driving 3 hours total round trip to go to work every day, and I was working Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. Had to be there at 7 a.m. and so I left at 5:30 a.m. and I just continued on, and I enjoyed it. I loved it, and I worked hard at it. And the ambulance only ran 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. It was the county we were working in. They only had one paid ambulance that was 24 hours. And they were intermediates. And we were running actually a paramedic ambulance during the day, running 911 calls and also backing them up. Plus, I was running calls on what we call a QRV, a quick response vehicle. So if the other ambulance company was going to a heart attack, I was automatically dispatched. So I would go to my QRV. We had another paramedic that was stationed on the ambulance, and they do it after the paid ambulance was gone and our ambulance was still in quarters. We had the whole county, so we were dispatched throughout the whole county. And it was a big county. It was in the eastern part of North Carolina. And I did that for about 5 years, doing that. I loved it. I was in Jones County, because we had to have Jones County caller ID numbers. I was actually the number 2 supervisor during the day. And if their supervisor was either on vacation or at meetings or stuff like that, I became the supervisor for the county, as well as the mobile paramedic. So I was doing a couple roles. I had to work with the, we had what we call medical directors that ran the counties, and in the county, medical directors set up what each county can do. The medical director that we had was for the neighboring county, Craven County, which I was also boarded in. Here in North Carolina, you got to be boarded in each county you operate as. So if I went to a county that I wasn't boarded in as a paramedic, I was only an EMT, and that's all I could operate as. I cannot operate as a paramedic. I cannot give any advanced life support at all once I was boarded in a county. And but I had a good reputation on the eastern part of the county. So I was working full time. I was working 75 hours a week, and occasionally I would work an extra Saturday or a Sunday and fill in for the supervisor if you want to take the weekend off, and I would just run as a supervisor. Actually, I ran as a paramedic during the days, so I worked an extra 12 hours of overtime, which the county, I got paid by Jazz, but the county supplemented my time when I was working extra for the county. And I was making good money. And after the 5 years, the county opened up a second ambulance station, and they finally became paramedics, so they didn't need our services. The county director and the medical director wanted me, both wanted me to quit Jazz, that's the company I was working for, and become the assistant director of Jones County EMS. And I did. I thought about it, and I was still working for Jazz. I said, so let me think about it. And then I was working on a medical transport in the county I lived in, which is good. And I picked up this. I had an advanced medical call where this patient needed advanced life support and transportation. So I went on the call. The patient weighed 350 pounds. They were supposed to send another ambulance, but they didn't. Oh, we had help at where we were picking up, getting the patient loaded, so that wasn't a problem there. But when we transported, the patient was being transported to a nursing home, and we were supposed to have a second ambulance meet us there at the nursing home. And it was an advanced nursing home. The patient was on a ventilator and had IVs, and I still haven't figured out why they released her yet from the hospital. No, it was a hospice patient, that's what it was. It was a hospice patient, but they were still doing life support. This is the breathing part of the patient. They weren't doing any. She had a DNR, which is do not resuscitate, but they wanted her to still have minimal, what they call minimal life support. So we went to a hospice place, and at the hospital it took 6 of us to transfer her over from the bed to the nursing home, from the bed to the stretcher. And when we transported her to the hospice center, they had a strict rule of not assisting ambulances. You had to provide your own support. Well, our crew never showed up. We called dispatch and they said, well, we don't have anybody available right now. And we were at the facility. So me and my partner, we decided, well, we're going to have to, because it would be an hour and a half before we have a transport available for you. And so I took the bedside, so I was pulling the patient over to me from the stretcher, and my partner was pushing from the stretcher, lifting up. Well, not pushing, we called it pushing, but you lift up and you push. Now my partner was strong, I was strong. I mean, we've done 350-pound patients before, but there were some things that were going on. We had all that equipment that was still attached to her. So the nurse and the CNA that was there did help us, but only helped us with the medical equipment, not the patient. And there was a little drip of water. They mopped like half an hour before the patient got there, cleaned the room and made sure it was sterilized, and they mopped it. And right underneath the bed, it wasn't dry 100%, and as I was pulling the patient, my right leg slipped out from underneath me. I twisted myself, and hit my knee hard, my right knee hard. That's all the pain I was feeling was from my right knee. And patient landed on the bed safely and comfortably. She didn't know that I fell. But she spoke in sign language, and family was there too. And she did speak in sign language, so that's one of the reasons why she still had her mental. She was dying, but she still had her mental faculties around her. She was dying of cancer, and they made the decision to do not do DNR, but the respiratory section. But they wanted to keep her alive because breathe. She had throat cancer, so she had to have a respirator. And she signed. She couldn't talk, so she learned sign language, and one of her daughters learned sign language. And when I slipped and fell, I was in pain. I could not stand up. I asked the daughter, "Is she okay?" And she said, and she talked to the daughter, talked to the mother, and the mother said, "I'm fine. Why?" That was the easiest transfer I've ever had. Why? And then she told her that I slipped and fell and got injured. So things changed. My partner called the base to let them know that I'm injured. I wanted to know if he says I can't walk right now. They automatically sent the second medic truck that was supposedly in another county. They didn't have a truck available to transport, to assist us with the patient lifting. And dispatch called them up and sent them over to check on me, the medic truck, and they were there within 5 minutes. I said, "Where were you guys?" "Oh, we've been at base for the past hour waiting for another call." Dispatch never even dispatched them to assist us. And OSHA got involved because it happened at a facility. And they took me to an urgent care instead of the ER. The urgent care checked my knee, want to know if I was in pain in any other place. I said, right now all I can feel is my knee throb. Can't feel anything else. The next morning I woke up with shooting pains down my back going down my right leg. So I called work, told them what was going on. And they said, well, you're on, what do you call it? You're on medical leave and you are on payment workman's comp. So you go to call the workman's comp people. So I called the workman's comp people and told them what was going on with me right now. I said, I can't even move, I can't even walk. And they're like, well, we'll schedule an appointment for you and we'll provide transportation. But we can't get an appointment until a week. I'm like, can I at least go to an urgent care? No, can't go to an urgent care. So, a week later, I go to this orthopedic and workman's comp, because my only complaint at the time initially was my right knee, the place it sent me. They thought I was just there for my right knee. And I told workman's comp, hey, I am injured, I'm feeling pain down my back and all this, and they're like, we don't do workman's comp backs. We only do knees and shoulders and bones. We do not do workman's comp backs. And I'm like, I've taken patients to this facility. They know me personally. And I'm like, why don't you take workman's comp backs? Because we don't get paid. They want us to do, they want us to treat the patient a certain way, and that's it. And I'm like, that's stupid. So we don't do workman's comp back because they don't want us to treat the patient. They want the treatment so you get back to work. So they had to make another appointment because they refused to take me. So the following week I get to go. Now I still have pain. I can't move. I was living by myself. And my mother would bring me food. I was taking ibuprofen for the pain. And because when I went to the urgent care, they only told me to take ibuprofen. They didn't give me extra strength ibuprofen. So I was taking regular strength ibuprofen, but at a higher recommendation, so I could at least tolerate the pain. So I would get up in the morning, crawl into the shower. I had a tub shower combination. My mother got me some handicap handles that were suction cup that I could use to help me stand in the shower. My mother would call me every day, make sure I was doing okay, and if I needed anything, because I couldn't drive. And she got me my groceries, which I paid her. She got my groceries and everything. and I learned to manage the pain. Finally went to another orthopedic, which was 3 counties away, an hour and a half one way. So that was the closest one. That was the closest facility that they could find that would accept me. And again, they thought I was only there for the knee. I told them no, I have back pain. I told workman's comp. The next morning, I woke up with severe back pain and shooting pain down my legs. So they had to call workman's comp, verify that I did that, and I was at the reception. Luckily, I was on a stretcher. And the receptionist could see that I was in pain. I wasn't faking this. And it took an hour and a half with the receptionist on the phone with workman's comp to get me approved to be seen for my back, because they only set me up for my knee. They finally got the approval from workman's comp, and the doctor is like, okay, what has... I said, I went to urgent. I told him what happened. I slipped and fell, banged my knee up pretty good, and I twisted my body to make sure the patient didn't fall or get injured. And when I went to the urgent care, at that time he was only treating me for my knee. The next morning I woke up, I had shooting pains from my neck all the way down my right leg where it was injured. And I'm like, I don't know if it's my back, or it's just the pain traveling up and down my leg, or it's something seriously wrong with my knee, or what. He said, well, we're going to take some x-rays. So they took x-rays of my knees, which urgent care didn't do. So they took pictures of my, and this is 2 weeks after I got injured, before I finally got to see a real doctor. Well, I saw a real doctor, but before they started real treatment. And the first thing that they said was that I should not be using any crutches. He come back in and said, you're not going to be using crutches. I'm like, what do you mean? You have now this is stop from the top to the bottom. I had a bulge disc in my neck. I had a bulge disc in my thoracic section of my back. And then I had 3 major bulges in my lower back, that they were significantly swollen, and that I possibly did some damage. And using crutches is just going to make it worse. My knee, I had swelling and some water on the knee. He drained the water on my knee. Gave me some medicine to help with the pain. It wasn't a narcotic or anything like that, thank God. But he gave me some medication for the pain. And he said, come back in a week and we'll take another series of x-rays. Pain, he gave me muscle relaxant, that's what he gave me, to help relax my back, for the pain in my back. Futsal, that's what it was. And yeah, I was just like, okay. He said, what are you taking now? I said, I'm taking about 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen a day. He said, well, you need to get some Tylenol and alternate. One day, get some over-the-counter Tylenol. One day, Tylenol. The next day, ibuprofen, so you don't screw up your liver doing that. I said, okay, I'll do that. I said, but both will hurt the liver. Yeah, but by alternating, it won't hurt it as bad until we can get some pain management going in on it. So I went ahead and followed his directions. He released me. He took me back. He said I can go in a week. I can go back to work on severe light duty. Very no lifting, no. Can't sit for long periods of time. Yeah, I want you to stand when you start feeling pain. Stand up, stretch, and do stuff. So I started doing that. And then when I got workers' comp, they put me in Q&A paperwork, which is reading reports and entering them into the computer. And they had boxes of this stuff, and they had me lifting these boxes. Now, I'm not supposed to lift anything. I mean, he has zero lift written on this. I'm lifting boxes. And as I'm sitting on, and I had to go home, I couldn't work an 8-hour shift. I was toughing out to about 5 hours a day. And he said, only work as much as you can take it, and go home, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, and that way you'll be on light duty for a week, and you can see what progress and see what we need to do. So I did my light duty. I worked 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And while I was on the computer one time, both my legs got severely cold and hurting, and I had pain shooting up from on my left leg up my body. And the doctor, and the next week I went to see the doctor. Doctor's like, you did what? I said, and I have no feeling in both legs. And he's like, he took more x-rays. He said, nothing's blocked or anything. You don't have a pinched nerve in your back. He said, okay, what I want to do is I want you to go to therapy for Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You see me in a month. And he gave me some more muscle relaxers. And then we'll figure out if you're still having this pain and still see if you have no feeling in your legs, stuff like that. I said, okay, no problem. I was driving then, so I drove myself to the doctor and drove back. I went to work that morning, drove an hour and a half. His appointment was in the afternoon. Left work, went to go to the appointment, and then drive all the way back. And I just called him and said, I'm not coming back to work today. It took workman's comp 3 weeks to get me approved for now. I didn't have a lawyer yet, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's my back? I wasn't getting paid for my average hour, so my average hour was 75 hours, and personnel lady told them that I only worked 24 hours, and they were supposed to go back for 5 weeks, and that would be my current average hours that they basically base my hourly rate on my paycheck on, because they have to supplement any difference in my paycheck. Workman's comp did, and they based it off what the personnel lady did. So I talked to her, and I said, I'm working more than 40. I was averaging more than 40 hours a week. I was averaging about 75 hours a week. And this is I was only there for a week, and I still worked. The day I got injured, I still had 65 hours, so I know my average didn't drop that down to 40. I mean, the other 4 weeks, I was at 75 plus a week. And she's like, well, your salary, you only based on 40 hours a week. I said, no, I'm not. I'm an hourly. Well, I was an hourly employee. I got paid by the hour. I was receiving overtime. So she looked up my record and she said, "Oh yeah, you are. You're supposed to be a salary employee." I said, "Nope, I've never been a salary employee. Managers are. I'm not a manager." "Well, you managed the 911 system." "That's right, I did. But I did not manage the transport company there. You had another manager for there, and he was salaried, not me. I was on the 911 side. I had nothing to do with transport, and they kept paying me as an hourly employee." So it took me a month and a half to get that straightened out with workman's comp, and I got a nice big check after that. And I had to submit my hours and all that. But when I finally went to therapy, they had to do an evaluation on me, and I was in therapy for 2 weeks, because I went to therapy in the morning, and it was in the same, right next door to where I was working, which the company I was working for owned the therapy company that I was going to. And I went over there. I go there at 9 o'clock in the morning before I started my shift, and I would go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, when I started, they did an evaluation to see what I could do. And the therapist is like, you have some significant injuries. You shouldn't be working. You should just be going to therapy right now. And I started doing what the therapist told me to do. I was doing exercises and stuff like that. I wasn't lifting any weights or doing any strength building yet. I was just doing stretches and stuff to help me relax and stuff like that. And the therapist at the end of each week did another test on me to see where I'm at. So in 2 weeks, I actually got worse than when I started. And my pain was getting worse. I was only working 4 hours a week now instead of 5, so I was losing another hour. Well, and her recommendation was that I be taken off of light duty and taken out of work and work on therapy for a while, and also to be reevaluated by the doctor. Because that Friday, my last Friday at the therapist, she called the doctor. I was only supposed to see the physician assistant that day. And I went to my appointment and kept my appointment. The physician assistant told him what was going on, pain was getting worse and all that. So he took some more x-rays. And then the doctor came in. The doctor was ticked off when he saw me. He said, "What kind of scam are you playing here?" I said, "What do you mean?" "You're scamming the therapist, aren't you? You're making it look like you can't do things. I want you to be able to work. You are supposed to do this, that, and the other thing." And the physician assistant called him out of the room. And the nurse was like, I apologize to you. I've never seen a doctor so mad." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, he's ticked off at the therapist because the therapist thinks that you shouldn't be working at all. That you need therapy and that you need different type of treatment." And the doctor came in. Came back in after talking to the physician assistant. And everything was digital. The x-rays were digital and they had a digital board on there. And doctor's like, "You're going back to work. I'm going to limit your hours to 20 hours a week. I will see you in a month, and you are discontinuing your therapy." I'm like, "What?" "Okay. So you limit my hours of work to 20 hours. I went from 40 hours to 20 hours. So cut it in half." I said, "Well, what's the x-rays prove? Nobody's giving me the results of the x-rays." He said, "Don't you bother about those x-rays. You might be a paramedic, but you don't know what you're looking at in those x-rays." I'm like, "Yeah, I do, Doc. I had some of the world's best cardiac thoracic surgeons and trauma doctors show me and explain to me what to look for in x-rays." He said, "Yeah, where? John Hopkins. Where did you go to school?" "I mean, you learned to be a paramedic?" "Yeah, and I learned to be what they called an advanced paramedic in the state of Maryland, which is equivalent to what you call a PA, physician assistant now." "Well, how many years did you have to go through that training?" "Oh, the paramedic training, I had a year. And then when I was going through my advanced paramedic program, that was 2 years. So I had 3 years of college, and I took all my training at those 3 years at John Hopkins, working with the best people who set up for trauma. And I have trauma, so I do know what I'm looking for. I want to see those x-rays." And he's like, and I said, "That is my request, and that is my right to see my." He said, "I hate it when I have patients who know what their rights are." So he showed me those x-rays, and I said, those were the x-rays. He showed me the x-rays from the ones he took before. "Well, how do you know that?" I said, "Well, first of all, down here in the code, it says it was taken on the first week I was here. Second of all, there should have been some changes. So please show me the current set of x-rays." So he got ticked off. He said, "Okay, I'll show them to you." So he got those x-rays out. He showed me those x-rays. And I saw significant increase in bulging of my discs in my back. And he was like, "I don't see anywhere that would be causing this numbness, so I know you're faking." I said, well, can I see a neurologist? Maybe it's something that's going on, that is physically going on with me. I said, he said, are you diabetic? I said, yeah, I'm a diabetic. I said, okay, I'll send you to the neurologist. And it took a month before I finally got approved, and I had to wait another month after I got approved to see the neurologist. In the meantime, I was still seeing the doctor, and at that time, my numbness had spread to my hands, and I was thought I got something seriously going on with my back, and he didn't take any more X-rays. And I'm like, okay, something's going on here. Well, the neurologist, I finally saw the neurologist. And the neurologist is like, oh, I can tell you what's wrong. He did several tests. He did several tests on me. And he told me I had diabetic neuropathy. Now, see, I was a diabetic, and I knew I was a diabetic, and I was being treated by my doctor, which I still saw on a regular basis. And my doctor was also saying that, I mean, he took X-rays of my back, and he wanted me to go back to where I first went to, and I told him that they don't do they don't do they don't do they don't do workman's comp. And he's like, oh, that's too bad, because he's like, I think the doctor there, his job is to make sure that you go back to work, and he's not worrying about you. He's worrying about getting you back to work, and that's it. So let's go back to round. So I went back to him after a month, and he said, I'm going to send you to get a workplace assessment done. And we're going to see exactly how bad. I said, well, you stopped therapy on me. It's not going to be good. And he just kept on making. He thought I was faking, and that was the bottom line. He thought I was faking. So he kept on thinking that I was faking. Let's use this as. So he kept on thinking I was faking this whole time. So he did a workman's place assessment test on me, which in my job, I'm supposed to lift a minimum of 150 pounds. I'm supposed to be able to walk. I'm supposed to be able to push 300 pounds. You know, all this stuff. Well, they did the workman's place test. The person who gave the person, and he was ticked off about this too. The person who gave me the test. Oops, wrong one. The person who gave me the exam was supposed to give the results to the doctor and not tell me the results, because he got the results once he was done, and he told me the results before I even went back to the doctor. He told me that day how bad I was. And he told me that you're injured a lot worse than what the doctor thinks. You know what is? No. Well, let's do this. Make a little ramp. Okay, let's see how good that is. Okay, need to smooth this out. Got a little hump. There we go. And I'm just going to go to the house. And 13 hours. Get some more light on the subject since I have no light. Oop, I passed the house. There's the house. There's the house. Is it going to let me? Yes. So let's do 13 hours sleep. Okay, we got sunlight. We're on day 3. Oh, synchronizing. Yay. Okay, let's go back out there. Actually, before I start doing a mat, I want to see this. See how bad it is. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, that's steep. I bring a vehicle down here. Yeah, it'd be flying, so I need to build this up first. Let's reduce the size here. And let's go square, because I'll step this up a little bit. Square, C, okay. So what I'm going to do is raise this up. Raise this up. There we go. Okay. Now. Oh. Oh, going the wrong way. Now it's going to take it from there. Go from here. Go back to circle. Go back to 14. Middle mouse button. And we'll just slope this down. Slope this down. Build up the sides here a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go back to the square for a second. Just level this. And level this. And then go back to the circle. And slope that down a little bit more. Slope that up a little bit more so it doesn't look as... Oh! Wrong button. And just slope it down. Slope it down. That looks better. Let's see what it looks like in person. Go. Yeah, a little lopside there, so we need to... Oh, wrong button. And we'll just slope this a little bit. Help raise that up a little bit. That side up a little bit. Same thing on this side. Raise this up a little bit. Raise this up. There we go. That looks a lot better. Yes, that does. Okay. Now let's not worry about the sides for right now. We are going to continue on leveling, and we're leveling on this spot. I don't know why it's bouncing like that. Yeah, you can see a little bit of a difference in elevation. Since we're keeping the same level as other pasture, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more work. Tell you what, let's increase the size. Go 20. Yeah, you can see the difference in size and elevation. Okay. And I'm trying to stay away from the road. I'm just kind of leveling out where we already level, try to get everything one level. And you can see the difference. Even with my bad eyes, I can see the difference. Yeah, you can see the difference. Big difference. So we're going to go like this, keeping everything the same level all the way across that road. So this is nice and smooth. I won't touch that. Come back down here, and we'll just go in a circle. I don't know why I'm bouncing so much. It should be nice and smooth, but I think it's because of the height difference. This is, yeah, that's what's going on. Is if I go like this, I got that little height. If I go like this, you got that, and watch. Yeah, it's sections that I was missing. Now, this is as wide as it goes, is 20, and I'm just going to go like this. Big difference. So we're doing a lot of landscaping, but we're going to have a nice farm. And I want all my animals in one spot. I don't want them across the street. We're going to have a lot of stuff that needs to be worked on. Okay. So, doctor said, okay, you're going to have to go to therapy, but you're going to the therapist I send you, and it's going to have to be approved by workman's comp. You're not going back to, I said, why don't I go back to the one that I was at? Well, I don't trust them. They're misleading you is what they're doing. You still believe I'm faking? I said, yeah, I believe you're faking. So, went to the neurologist. Oh no, yeah, I went to the neurologist, and he told me I had diabetic neuropathy. So that's the coldness that you're feeling in your legs, and the why you can't, why you had no feelings right now in your legs. He said, other than the pain that's being shot down your leg. I'm like, how can I still see that? Feel that? Because that's coming from your back, not coming. Because right now you only have diabetic neuropathy in your hands, your legs, and half your arms right now. And I'm like, how did that? How did all of a sudden I got diabetic neuropathy? And he said, well, you're diabetic. And unfortunately, that's part of the diabetic disease. But I said, I've been good. He said, yeah. He said, what's your sugar been? I said, it's been right where it's always been. How's your exercise been? I said, well, I really haven't been exercising because of the pain. And he said, what do you do when you're not at work? How many hours of work are you working right now? I said, I'm working 20 hours a week right now. He said, how many did you normally work? I worked about 80 to 75 hours a week. And he's like, well, have you gained any weight? I said, I've gained some weight. He said, that's because you're not active. And because you are now less active than what you were before, your body, your diabetes is now taking over. And your injury actually caused, your injury actually caused the disease to come forth. Accelerated the disease process a little bit more because your injuries, because you are no longer mobile like you were. You're not moving like you were. You're not. And he said, what are you eating at home? I said, I've been eating regular. I haven't had any fast food. I said, I actually, when I first got into it, I was losing weight. And then I'm here again starting to gain weight. And he's like, well, one of the reasons why you losing weight is you stopped eating fast food, right? Yeah, I said, yeah. I stopped eating fast food, and that's why you were losing weight. But you're gaining weight again because you're not active. And you need to be active. I mean, that's how you were controlling your diabetes, was being active. And because you're not active due to the injuries, your diabetes is going to get worse. The neuropathy is going to get worse, and other diabetic stuff is going to start happening. So, I had Workman's Comp gave me what they call an advocate. The advocate was not for me, it was for Workman's Comp. Because by then, my personnel manager, where I was working at, thought I was faking. She had no medical degree, no medical training. The only training she had was in personnel, and she wasn't doing her job that well because she thought I only worked 40 hours a week. And I'm like, no, I work more than 40 hours a week because they had to pay. Well, they had to pay me the hours I worked, and then Workman's Comp had to pay for the thing. And Workman's Comp in North Carolina is not the state. It is an insurance company. Is insurance companies that run it, and the company that was running our Workman's Comp was being run by the company we were working for. So so I was getting paid twice. That's what she thought. Saying she thought I was faking because she read the doctor's report, and I'm like, the doctor's not treating me for what I'm telling him. And she's like, yeah. So I went 2 more visits to the doctor. I went a total of 4 weeks to therapy to his therapist. And his therapist was saying the same thing as my therapist. My first therapist was saying he didn't like that. So he sent me back to work instead of 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week. We're going to try to send you back to work and see how you do on 40 hours a week. And I said, okay, doc, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Well, as I was working, and he also say that I could lift 10 pounds. Well, they had fired the guy who picked up all the mail and laundry we had 16 offices throughout the state, and they had a mail person, so they fired that. Oh, crap. Can't say the other word. And he sent me back to get a work study test done. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be driving up that. So he sent me back to do another work study test. And I had the exact same person who gave me the original work study placement test. That he didn't like because he told me the truth. Okay, so we want to do. No, I don't want that one. I'm going to do a step down. No! There we go. Let's just do this. Okay. And then we'll do this. There we go. And we'll kind of smooth this out here. Yeah, that'll work. Then we'll go to circle. Down to 14. No, let's keep it at 16. Start from the top. Smooth this out so it looks. Start smoothing this out. Oh. Let's see what this looks like now. Okay, that's... yeah. Let's try it smoothing it out a little bit more. Yeah, build that back up. Build that up a little bit more. Middle. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Yeah. So I go to get... what the hell? Is that a tree stump? Yep, it sure is. Kind of round that out. Evidently I missed the tree and didn't realize I missed the stump. But something went down below the ground. Okay, that's good enough right now. So, did the study. It's like he said. I was at 50% in the study. I was at 50% when at 50% capacity to go back to work. Yeah, that's the way I want to go. So I was at 50% capacity to go back to work. He did the work study test and he gave me the results again. And he said, "Don't say anything this time." I said, I won't. I promise." But the work study test said I was at 25% now. So I actually got worse. I'm only capable of working 25%. Next appointment I had with a doctor, which was 2 weeks after the work study placement test. Basically, he came back. He said, I'm going to give you 1 more week, then I'm putting you on full duty. 1 more week of light duty, and then I'm putting you on full duty." Didn't say a word to him. Said, "Okay, Doc, no problem." He said, "Well, right now you're doing..." He said, "What are you doing at work?" I said, "I'm driving around, picking up mail, picking up laundry, and stuff like that. Or actually having laundry put into the car because because laundry weighs 35 and you only have me on a 20-pound weight restriction." He said, "Okay, you have 0 weight restriction now, and you go back to work a week from now. Go back full duty a week from now." So I was like, okay, something screwy's going on here. So before I could go back to work, I had to do a strength placement test to make sure I can work on the ambulance. And that has to be done by them, by Jazz themselves, by the supervisor I was working under at the time, to see if I passed. Well, I did the test. And the test is basically you had to lift a patient up from the down position in a stretcher. Then you had to put the stretcher in by yourself into the ambulance. And you had to step up and step down from the ambulance. So I lift the patient up on the stretcher. Then they had me go, and my back was, I feel something happen in my back. I'm like, back is hurting me. And the personnel director was there too, which she wasn't supposed to be, but she wanted to watch it. And then since I was cleared by the doctor, I wasn't covered by workman's comp anymore. So I stepped up. It hurt. When I stepped down, it hurt. And I told the person who was giving me the test that it hurts. And I said, my pain is 8 out of 10 right now, which is what it's normally been. And I said, it's actually going up. So after I had the patient on board, and she weighed 200 pounds. So I had somebody lift the other end. I didn't lift her up by myself on the stretcher, but we put her into the. I had some help guiding it into the ambulance, just like I would if I was on the truck. I went to lift up to release. I pushed the stretcher in and fell right down to the ground. I was in so much pain. So they put me in the common room that we had. And I was in so much pain. Everybody who was there, who's coming in and out in the commons area, it's basically a lounge, was coming in and seeing that I was in terrible pain. And they kept on saying, he's in pain. They went to the big guy in the office next door, saying that he's in pain. So, but he wasn't there. And so the CEO was there. The COO, Chief Operation, Chief Operation Officer, COO wasn't there that day. He was out checking out one of his managers, and he was far away. What am I looking at? I'm looking for animals. That's cows. This is 500 cows. Horses, sheep, water pump. Nope. We did the pigs, right? Oh, we need horses. We need a horse paddock. I'm just going to do a small horse paddock because I'm not going to do that many horses. Large. Yeah, 16 horses. So we'll do a horse paddock right here. Okay. And we'll go to animal husbandry section. A canal enclosure. A canine enclosure. Yeah, which doesn't work. Chicken coop, which holds 2,000 chickens. Chicken coop, which holds 2,000 chickens. A large donkey enclosure. Let's see if I can place. Nope, can't place that down. I bet I won't be able to do the duck either. How about the goat? Nope, can't do the goat either. Okay, and the game just crashed. And I'm just going to quit the game and restart it. So as I restart the game here, yeah, the game crashed. So yeah, it definitely crashed. Luckily, I was able to save it before it crashed 100%. But as I went down hard. I mean, I was in pain. They called. They had me come to the conference office in the main building, so I had to walk. No, I actually was carried. I was actually carried to this conference office by two big guys. They carried me in a chair position and sat me down. They put me in a chair, carried me in the chair over to the office, and sat me down next to the desk. And in this office was the manager of the office, the personnel manager, the CEO, and the CFO of the company. Both, all, all the headwigs except for the COO, because he was out. So she got them all together, and she, what am I doing? I'm hitting the wrong buttons again. There we go. Gotta load this back up. Okay, and start. So she got the CEO there, and she held a meeting to see if I was faking or not. And I said little, and she accused me of faking. I'm in pain. I can't move. I couldn't even move my arms. That's how bad my pain was at that time. So she said, "You're faking." Okay, I had the doctor's report here. It says that you are 100% capable of doing your job. Why are you faking? I said, well, because the doctor was not treating me. His job was workman's comp is get me back to work. And I said, when I did their last workman place test, I was at 25% capacity. And he sent me back to work at 100% capacity. So you tell me which is true, which is false, and ask for that test and see if I'm faking. This meeting went on for about half an hour. She just kept on grilling me. And the CEO said, stop right now. Just stop it right now. And she's like, why? He's faking. He said, I can tell he's in a lot of pain. And I'm not a medical personnel. He said, he went and got the medic that was on duty to give me an exam, see if I had any injuries. The medic that was on duty, came over, examined me, and says, yes, he has injuries. His discs are bulging. I can feel the bulge in his disc. Yes, I can understand why he's in pain. So the personnel lady said, okay, we'll send you to the immediate care physician, and then you'll be back on workman's comp. And see what he says, and you'll be back on workman's comp. So I'm like, okay, let's get some more animal stuff. Let's run over here. We got our cows. We got our sheep. We got our pigs. And we got our horses. What am I missing? And I think I'm missing my egg laying plant. I don't think I downloaded that yet. Let's check miscellaneous. Spell bond. Nope. 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 I haven't downloaded it yet. I need to download that. So, and that should be enough room for. That should be enough room for the plant. So we got this area done. Now what we need to do is put some roads in here and some road boundaries. We got this for one road boundary. We got sheep, and we need to put a road here, and we need a way to connect the roads. Let's see, can we bring this road? Yes, we can. So we're going to take this, going back to that paint job. Okay. Where are we? Okay, we're going to turn around. There we go. We're going to start painting. So I need my square, and this is going to be 12. So they sent me to workman's comp. Sent me to the immediate care physician. And he said, "What are you doing back here?" I told him what happened. They wouldn't transport me. I had to drive the personnel manager took it upon her decision and her authority as personnel manager. Oops. And her authority as personnel manager, that I would not be transported, and that I would have to drive myself. I said, I can't even move my arms. At least call 911, or let me, or. And I told my supervisor, if you don't call 911, I'm going to sue this company. And all of a sudden, the president said, "Stop right there." CEO said, "Stop, stop. You're on administration leave right now." Told this to the personnel manager. "You're on administration leave right now." He said, "We are going to not transport you." He said, "Can you make it?" He asked me, "Can you make it to your car?" I said, "Yeah, I can make it to my car." Okay, what we'll do is we will help you to the car and see if you can drive. If you can't drive, we'll find somebody to drive you in your car. I said, "Okay, thank you," and drive you back. And took me. I got to workman's comp. The receptionist there saw me and saw that I was in a lot of pain, and she could tell I was in a lot of pain. So she calls the doctor, come to the front, and said, "Can we got a workman's comp case here, and I got one head right now, but I won't put him in the room right now and have you examine him right now." And he said, yeah, go ahead. I know him. We treated him before." And he said, what happened this time?" And told him what was going on. And he said, "Oh, the doctor didn't do anything for you, did you?" And he was Vietnamese. His daughter was beautiful, though. And he took me to work. He's like, "Yeah, you're not working. I'm taking you out of work right now. You can't work no more until you see workman's comp doctor." So he took me out of work. And he said, he gave me he this time gave me some muscle relaxers and gave me some muscle relaxers and gave me extra strength Tylenol, and gave me a week's worth of Loratab for the pain. And I'm like, thank you, doc. At least I get some treatment. So Workman's Comp schedules me an appointment back with the same doctor I went with the last time. And he comes in. Evidently, he didn't read the chart, didn't know who I was before. He came into the room because he was reading the chart, and he read the chart and said, "Oh, this faker," as he was opening the door, where I could hear him say, "Oh, this faker." And the doc looked, didn't even take any x-rays, didn't do any examination. He walked in, "Okay, you're out of work. You happy now? You're out of work. See me in a month. No x-rays, nothing new. Just see me in a month." I'm like, "Okay, doc, I'll see you in a month." He said, "You got lower tab, and you got some extra strength, and I saw, and you got any refills on the extra strength ibuprofen?" He's okay. I'll give you a 30-day prescription on the ibuprofen. He said, "What's your pain level right this second?" I said, "Right now it's a 10 out of 10. "Oh, you're faking that now too, huh? Trying to get some narcotics off of me? I know how you paramedics work." I'm like, "What in the hell are you talking about, doc?" But he kept on thinking I was faking. So as soon as he took me out of work, I hired myself a lawyer. Wait a minute, didn't we? I thought we put a. Yeah, there's a horse paddock. Okay, I knew we did something. Okay, let's get some gravel. Now, we'll use this. That's the main road. Now, we want to go 12. This way. Straight. 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 So, the doc took me out of work. The Workman's Comp Pure Care, whatever she was called, I forget now, was also there when he took me out of work. I said, "This doctor's not taking me seriously. He's not treating me. He just wants me back to work." Well, that's his job. I'm like, "No, his job is to treat me, not treat me like I'm a faker." And he said that just before he came into the door, once he read the file, as he opened the door, "This faker." And she's like, "Well, that's his opinion, and he's the one whose opinion counts, not yours, not what you think, and not what you say. So, what can I request a second physician to look at me, or have a second opinion, which I should have the right to do?" And she said, "Well, yeah, you do have a right to do that." I said, "That's fine. I'm also calling a lawyer." "You what? You're calling a lawyer?" "Yeah, I'm calling a lawyer." "Okay, fine." Well, the doctors also sent me back to the neurologist. for another evaluation. The doctor was trying to prove that it was my neuropathy that's causing the problems, not my back. It's basically what he was trying to do. So I had a lawyer. I hired a lawyer. And the lawyer went over my case from the previous one, and she's like, "No, this once because you don't have a new workman's comp case. You have the original case. They extend it now." And she's like, "Well, you need to be paid. They didn't pay you the way they were supposed to pay you for the last one. So for when they originally started working on you, and this covers the same case." So I received a nice big fat check, thanks to my lawyer. I'm going to do the horse paddock, but it's going to go around the horse paddock. There we go. Connect this road to this. And for right now, we'll keep the rest of this grass and go from there. That might be my grass field. I don't know. I know this is going to be a grass field, and this is going to be a grass field, and this is going to be a grass field. So I'll have my grass field. Oh yeah, let me tidy this up. Okay, this is 12, so this is supposed to be 12 all the way. Oh, I see why. And yeah, it stepped up. The road kind of went that way. Oh yeah, I already did that. That was already there. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 main roads, 5 main roads to the farm, enter the farm, running through the farm. Okay. Speaking about my back's hurting me. Okay, let's get some of this farm stuff taken care of. First thing I need to take care of is cow mixture, and we're going to place that yeah, and that's too small. So let's put the cow mixture plant. Yes, I know, I'm going around and around. Yeah, straighten this up. Okay, that's it. Should have a pig food silage. I don't. Why don't I have a pig food silage? That's cow. I'm supposed to have a pig food silo. Okay. Okay, got a large area right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do next, go back here. I think I downloaded it. No, I haven't. Nope. Let's go back to this. Well, the doctor took me out of work. I hired a lawyer. Went back to the doctor. Yeah, I need that. Okay, so that's alfalfa storage. Okay, this is dryer. And I can't put this on this map because we don't have alfalfa. And we crash. So, guys and gals, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'll finish the story another day. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and bell. That way you know when the latest videos that I do come along. And do me a favor, hit that like button. Every like I gets my videos seen a little bit more. I appreciate you all watching my channel and subscribing. And as always, be safe out there in the world. Have fun playing your video games, and I'll see you in the next one.